In an era where clean eating and green living have become the gold standard of a modern, mindful lifestyle, plant-based diets are being praised as the superior choice, healthier, more ethical, and even more sophisticated than eating meat. But is all of that really true in every case? So here's the real question. Is going vegetarian truly better than eating meat? Or is it just a lifestyle that suits some people, but has been glorified a little too much? In this video, we're going to uncover the truth behind the healthy image of vegetarianism. We'll look at it through the lens of health, nutrition, environmental impact, and ethics. Don't look away. What's coming next might just surprise you, challenge what you think you know, and even make you rethink your entire daily menu. 1. Vegetarian versus omnivore. Understand it right to compare it right. Before we dive into which one is better, we need to lay the groundwork. What does it really mean to be vegetarian? What does it mean to eat meat? And more importantly, are we even comparing them the right way? What does vegetarian mean? It's not just no meat. A lot of people think going vegetarian just means cutting out meat and fish, simple as that. But in reality, there are several levels of vegetarianism, and each one affects the body differently. Vegan, no animal products at all, not even eggs, dairy, or honey. Vegetarian, no meat or fish, but may still eat eggs or dairy. Flexitarian, mostly plant-based, but occasionally eats meat or fish, often for health or social reasons. Here's the kicker. The stricter the diet, the higher the risk of nutrient deficiencies, unless it's planned very carefully. What about eating meat? Is it really bad? On the flip side, eating meat, or more accurately, an omnivorous diet, includes both plant-based and animal-based foods. It sounds unhealthy at first glance, but imagine someone who eats lots of fresh vegetables, fruits, fatty fish, and whole grains, avoids red meat and fried foods, keeps sugar and salt in check. Now ask yourself, is this person really less healthy than a vegetarian living off instant noodles, deep-fried tofu, and white rice? Common mistake: comparing extremes. This is one of the biggest traps we fall into. We compare fast food meat eaters to Instagram perfect salad-eating vegetarians, and then declare vegetarianism the winner. But science doesn't work on assumptions or aesthetics. The truth depends on how you eat, not on whether it's labeled vegetarian or omnivore. So, if you're wondering, should I go vegetarian to be healthier? The honest answer is, it depends on how you go vegetarian. Because being vegetarian doesn't automatically mean being healthy. You can go vegetarian and still gain weight, develop insulin resistance, or feel constantly fatigued. For example, white rice and deep-fried veggie snacks and soda, still vegetarian. French fries and sugary vegan pastries and vegan mayo, still vegetarian. But are those meals really clean? Do they actually support your health? Eating meat doesn't automatically mean eating dirty. Likewise, someone who eats meat but prioritizes leafy greens, fish, and naturally fermented foods, minimizes refined carbs and avoids processed foods, stays hydrated and exercises regularly, that person may be much healthier than a poorly planned vegetarian. So how should we define better? Instead of asking, which one is better, vegetarian or omnivore? Maybe the better question is, which eating style fits your body, lifestyle, and health goals best? To answer that, we'll break it down by impact on health and longevity, ability to meet essential nutrition needs, environmental and ethical implications, and finally, how realistic it is in today's busy world. Each section ahead will unpack what seems obvious at first, but turns out to be far more complex than you'd think. 2. Nutrition and health. Is vegetarian really better? This is the main reason many people turn to vegetarianism, hoping to be healthier, live longer, and avoid chronic diseases. But what does science actually say? A. The benefits of a vegetarian diet, if you do it right. It's not a coincidence that many large-scale studies have highlighted key benefits of a well-planned vegetarian diet, especially when it comes to modern chronic illnesses. Lower risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. One standout study is the Adventist Health Study, which tracked over 96,000 people for years. The results? Vegetarians had lower BMIs, lower risk of diabetes, and fewer heart issues compared to meat eaters. Less saturated fat and bad cholesterol. By cutting out meat and high-fat animal products, Vegetarians naturally reduce the burden on their heart and blood vessels. Higher in fiber and antioxidants. With a base of veggies, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, a plant-based diet supports healthy digestion, reduces inflammation, and boosts immunity. Many also report feeling lighter, sleeping better, and even thinking more clearly on a vegetarian diet, though science is still exploring these effects. B. When vegetarianism backfires, if you do it wrong. Don't let the image of plant-based, healthy, fool you. If you don't balance your nutrition, a vegetarian diet can come with serious health risks. Deficiencies in key nutrients. Vitamin B12, found only in animal products. Long-term deficiency can cause fatigue, nerve damage, and memory loss. Iron and zinc. Plant-based forms are harder to absorb. Low iron leads to anemia, dizziness, and weakness. Omega-3s, mainly found in fatty fish. Deficiency affects brain function, heart health, and skin. Protein. Lack of protein can lead to muscle loss and fatigue, especially concerning for older adults and athletes. Ultra-processed, vegan food is a double-edged sword. Packaged vegetarian meals, fake meats, fried snacks, salty sauces, sugary drinks. They may be plant-based, but they're far from healthy. In fact, many vegetarians gain weight because of too much white carbs, refined sugar, and reused cooking oil. See, compared to a clean omnivorous diet, who comes out ahead? The real issue isn't meat itself. It's how you eat meat. The Mediterranean diet, backed by hundreds of scientific studies, includes lots of veggies, nuts, fatty fish, and olive oil, minimal red meat, a focus on fresh, whole foods with limited processing. The results? Lower risk of heart disease, stroke, and Alzheimer's, better mood, longer lifespan, and fewer chronic illnesses. A small, but powerful, conclusion. There's no one-size-fits-all, superior, diet. Vegetarianism can be healthier if you build a balanced, well-planned menu that fits your body's needs. Eating meat can also be healthy if you follow a smart, science-backed, and mindful approach. In other words, how you eat matters more than what you eat. Coming up next, we'll explore a topic that many vegetarians are proud of, and that's also sparked a lot of debate. Does going vegetarian really help save the planet? Or is it just a beautiful idea that doesn't tell the whole story? 3. The environmental and ethical perspective. Is vegetarianism truly more noble? For many, vegetarianism isn't just a way of eating, it's a moral statement. A declaration of compassion, of protecting the planet, and building a better future. But if we take a step back and look at the full picture, is it really that simple and pure? A. The environmental side. Can going veg really save the planet? In theory, vegetarianism, especially veganism, sounds like the ideal climate-friendly lifestyle. According to a 2013 FAO, United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, report and several recent studies, livestock farming contributes around 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, more than the entire transport sector. Meat production, especially beef, requires massive water use, land space, and releases powerful methane gas. In contrast, plant-based foods like legumes, grains, and vegetables produce far fewer emissions and are generally more sustainable. One serving of lentils uses 1/10 the water of one serving of beef. One day of plant-based eating saves as much water as a month of daily showers. Clearly, from a climate and resource standpoint, plant-based diets have a major advantage. But not all plant-based foods are equally green. Almonds need around 12 liters of water for a single nut. Avocados, beloved by Instagram, are driving deforestation in parts of Mexico due to industrial farming. Quinoa, once a staple for poor communities in Peru, has become so globally over-exported that locals can barely afford their traditional food. So yes, vegetarianism can help the environment. But if we ignore where our food comes from, we risk supporting exploitative and ecologically harmful farming systems. B. The ethical side. Is vegetarianism truly more pure? For many, vegetarianism is an ethical choice, to not kill, to respect life. Emotionally, that makes sense. Not killing animals equals less suffering, less karmic burden, as taught in Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, etc. But, is it really that clear-cut? Here's what we often forget. All food production, plant or animal, comes with a cost. Industrial-scale agriculture to grow soy, corn, wheat, and other staples often requires clearing vast natural habitats, disrupting local ecosystems, using pesticides, monoculture practices, and heavy machinery. Entire ecosystems have been permanently damaged in the name of growing ethical food. And here's a tough question few dare to ask. Are we being selectively ethical? We refuse to harm chickens or cows, but happily consume mountains of ultra-processed vegan junk, full of sugar, sodium, and additives. We buy cashews, bananas, cocoa from regions where labor exploitation, even child labor, is rampant. Just because the packaging says vegan certified. The truth is, eating vegetarian doesn't automatically make you more ethical. What makes you ethical is mindfulness in your choices, and empathy that goes beyond the obvious. A small, but sobering, conclusion. Vegetarianism offers real advantages in terms of environment and ethics, but it's not perfect, and it's not completely harmless. Yes, it can significantly lower your environmental impact. Yes, it reflects compassion toward animals. But if we ignore the supply chain, turn a blind eye to exploitation, or hide behind the label, vegetarian, to feel morally superior, we're not being kind. We're living an illusion. So instead of stopping it, I don't eat meat. A deeper question might be, what impact does each thing I eat really have? And am I living meaningfully, or just clinging to a comfortable label? 4. The practical perspective. Is vegetarianism right for everyone? While vegetarianism is celebrated in many areas, from health to the environment to ethics, it's not as simple as it seems when we apply it to real life. The practical question that needs to be asked is vegetarianism suitable for everyone, in all circumstances? The short answer, no. Not everyone is cut out for vegetarianism. We can't wear the same outfit for everyone's body. Similarly, not everyone can easily transition to a vegetarian diet that their body happily accepts. For example, people with anemia, especially iron deficiency. Iron in plant-based foods is absorbed much less efficiently than iron in red meat. An unbalanced vegetarian diet can worsen the condition. Pregnant women and young children. These stages require higher levels of vitamin B12, DHA, iron, and protein, nutrients often lacking in a strict vegan diet. If not properly monitored and supplemented, it can negatively affect fetal and child development. Athletes and bodybuilders, they need higher amounts of protein and healthy fats to recover and build muscle. Vegetarianism can still provide enough, but it's very difficult and requires meticulous planning. With continuous supplementation from various sources, snowflake climate and geography play a huge role. It may sound surprising, but where you live can determine how easy it is for you to follow a vegetarian diet. In countries with long winters and cold climates, the body needs more calorie-dense, fatty, and protein-rich foods to stay warm. Sticking to a purely plant-based diet of salads and fruits can be challenging and may lead to malnutrition. In rural or mountainous areas with limited food diversity, especially lacking nuts, legumes, and organic vegetables, it's much harder for people to maintain a balanced vegetarian diet, or the cost could be prohibitively high. The economic aspect. Eating healthy vegetarian isn't cheap. A common misconception is that vegetarianism is cheaper. It's true if you only eat white rice and boiled vegetables. But if you want to eat a well-balanced, clean, and nutrient-dense vegetarian diet, it's a whole different story. Nuts, walnuts, almonds, macadamia, sky-high prices, superfoods, quinoa, chia seeds, lentils, imported and expensive, organic vegetables, pesticide-free equals not available at every market, and definitely not cheap. Meanwhile, a simple non-vegetarian meal with eggs, fish, and boiled vegetables could be much cheaper and easier to find. Result? Many people want to eat healthily but are held back by economic barriers and limited access. Psychological aspects. Extreme vegetarianism can backfire. Tornado, a rarely discussed issue, but one silently affecting the vegetarian community, is psychological pressure and eating disorders. Some people fall into orthorexia, an extreme obsession with eating only clean foods, eliminating anything they consider toxic or bad. Extreme vegetarians might create a sense of guilt if they accidentally eat meat, or face judgment from the vegetarian community if they slip up. Eating becomes a constant source of stress, unnatural, affecting mental health, social interactions, and quality of life. And then, the scary question arises. Am I eating vegetarian because I love life, or because I'm obsessed, fearful, and pressured to be better than others? A small, but very human, conclusion. Vegetarianism is a beautiful choice, but it should not be a pressure or a mandatory moral standard. Each person has their own body, circumstances, and story. Instead of asking, who's right and who's wrong, we should ask, what works for me, and am I eating consciously? Vegetarianism can be a journey, but it is not necessarily the only path to health, sustainability, and ethics. Conclusion. Is vegetarianism really better? After all the analyses on health, the environment, and ethics, the final question still remains. Is vegetarianism really better than eating meat? Better doesn't mean superior in every way. In life, nothing is absolutely perfect. In fact, when we talk about better, we should understand it as being more suitable for one's personal goals and circumstances. Are you trying to lose weight? Do you live in a cold climate? Are you an athlete or a pregnant woman? Each question has a different answer. Vegetarianism. Benefits are clear, but it needs to be done right. It's undeniable that vegetarianism offers many benefits, such as improving heart health, reducing the risk of diabetes, and positively impacting the environment while minimizing animal slaughter. However, to make vegetarianism truly beneficial for the body, it needs careful planning and a variety of nutrient-dense foods. An imbalanced vegetarian diet with too much fried food, processed foods, or lack of protein can lead to negative effects. Eating meat isn't the enemy. Don't be quick to view eating meat as a bad choice. Eating meat can still be part of a healthy diet as long as you know how to choose quality foods. Eat less red meat, prioritize fish, seafood, and poultry. Eat more vegetables, whole grains, and nuts. Reduce processed foods, limit fried foods, and watch the salt intake. With a well-balanced meat-based diet, you can still achieve a healthy, energetic, and sustainable body. The final answer: vegetarianism can be better, but not always. Yes, vegetarianism can be better in some cases, especially if you follow a varied and balanced vegetarian diet. But if you're not careful with food quality, not choosing the right nutrient sources, vegetarianism can lead to deficiencies and health issues. And more importantly, eating meat can still be a good option as long as you know how to adjust and eat properly. The most important thing is food quality and an overall healthy lifestyle. Finding the right diet that suits your body, circumstances, and life goals is the key to sustainable health. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your comments below. What do you think about vegetarianism versus eating meat? Which one suits you better? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to not miss any deep dive videos on nutrition and health. See you in the next video.